So before we begin, let me just announce two things. The first thing is the Summer Rose finding the White Fang theory. That's debunked. Shortly after the theory was made, the episode Menagerie aired, which showed the actual founder of the White Fang, Gira Belladonna. So, on one hand, I was kind of right on the money that whoever founded the White Fang had a parental relationship to one of the members of Ruby, but compared to the theory I had that she found the White Fang and, all this crap, and the fact that I even used the Corsic brothers to showcase Sienna Khan, yeah, there was a lot of things that went horribly with this. I mean, I don't even think Summer Rose is even a faunus anymore because of the whole Silver Eye thing, and, people are already adding on that Summer Rose might have been a maiden or whatever. So, yeah, the theory's officially dead. The second thing I want to announce is that this theory came from a fan comic. So, take a lot of this shit with grains of salt. Like, go to your local bulk barn or your bulk store, just grab a shit ton of salt with a shovel and that's how much salt you should be taking with this theory. But I am gonna try and make this seem legit, okay? Okay, let's begin. So the theory is that Pinkie Pie is actually Applejack's mom, Pear Butter. Now you might have heard that and then thought to yourself, are you joking me, Saiga? But let me bring up two things. One, I did warn you to take this with huge grains of salt, and two, let me explain my theory. Now, side by side, Pinkie Pie and Pear Butter have sort of the same hairstyle. Pinkie Pie and Pear Butter having very curly hair. The only difference is that Pear actually has it in a scrunchie. It's also been established that Pinkie Pie is somewhat related to Applejack in some sort of regard. Like, she's a long-distant cousin or whatever. The episode Pinkie Apple Pie kind of establishes this fact, but never really gets deep into it because all the records are seemingly erased. The only known idea is that Pinkie Pie might be Applejack's fourth cousin, twice removed, which is a pretty huge leap in family relationships as far as cousins go. So for all rights and merits, let's assume that the Pies are related to at least the Apples and by extension the Pears. But on which side? We've only established that she's Applejack's fourth cousin. We don't know on which side of the family it is. And it's also established that Goldie Delicious, the person who holds all the records of the Apple family and by extension the Pear family, knows that Pear Butter was, well, a pear. And also, as we've seen in the episode The Perfect Pear, we know that Pear Butter and Cupcake, Pinkie's employer, have a friendship. So there's some pieces that actually start to line up if you think about it really hard. Some of this makes sense. Now you're thinking, okay, so let's assume that Pear Butter is indeed Pinkie Pie. How? Pinkie Pie is just as old as Applejack. Pear Butter is established to be dead. And also, Pinkie Pie is, well, pink. How the hell did she change her appearance? And, where are you coming from here? Well, let's just put that theory away for a while I establish some facts about another cartoon series. So, in Steven Universe, there's a character named Lars, and Lars is a bit of a dick, but he grows on you later on and all that, and he becomes a very prominent character in the 4-part season premiere of Steven Universe Season 4. Which, I will remind you guys, will probably be heavy spoilers for those who haven't watched Steven Universe. We got that out of the way? Good! In the premiere, we found that Steven has the ability to revive people with his tears, and Lars was the first person he used this power on. And, as revived, Lars got a few new abilities. The first being that he has supernatural stamina. It's not established if he's truly immortal as he's revived, but it is established that he's not hungry and that his heart rate is pretty slow. So, we could probably take this into consideration that his aging, if not stopped, could just be dramatically slowed down. The other ability he has is that his hair has access to a pocket dimension that only Steven can access. And this pocket dimension can hold a lot of shit. And it can also act as portals to other worlds, but again, only Steven can access that. However, there is one more little detail about Lars that, once you see what I'm talking about, you'll probably start to piece together. After being revived, Lars ended up becoming pink. Oh yeah, we're going there. Pear Butter was revived by Steven Universe and in the process became Pinkie Pie. Take that, MatPat. I just one-upped your Sans' Nest theories. Anyways, joking aside, let's review most of Pinkie's factors here. We've established that Pinkie Pie is the same age as Applejack. Well, that's true because it could be that she is technically petrified, meaning that she'll probably either be stuck at this age or will slowly age up, but at a considerable rate compared to Applejack. Second, the pink thing is pretty obvious. Pink hair, pink coat and all that, and also the fact that, well, she's revived. It also explains that she has an ability where she can reach into her mane and pull things out of it. Maybe the hair is actually acting as a portal to the pocket dimension. I mean, this theory can be entertained, but there's a lot of questions to be asked here. First off, the cutie marks. Pinkie Pie's cutie mark is to throw parties and make people smile, whereas Pear Butter's was more connected to the Pear family, i.e. Pear Butter. But we've also established that being able to manipulate a cutie mark is actually relatively easy. It just requires a lot of magical power. We've only seen 2 ponies who had the ability to actually perma-change a cutie mark: Twilight Sparkle and Starlight Glimmer. Unfortunately, because Pinkie Pie has already canonically met them for the first time, we can't actually use them as an excuse of why her cutie mark changed. So perhaps there's some way of her changing cutie mark somewhere. So we got that out of the way. Next is her established connection with the Pie family. Like, even though she might have been connected with the Apple family, but she can slip in quite easily, she can't really slip in quite easily to the Pie family. It's established that ponies can work for rock fall, something that the Pies were good at. Also, the Apples tend to view people who are significant friends as family, so perhaps the Pies also think that, and take Pinkie in as their own. The story of how she got her cutie mark? Fabricated. Now you may be wondering, okay, so where does the Sonic Rainboom fit in? Well, Applejack was also led back by the Rainboom, so perhaps Pinkie was taking elements from that story into her own. Since the Rainboom was what inspired Applejack to go back with her family, she decided, you know what, I'll just incorporate this Rainboom into my story. There are still a lot of holes in this theory, but I like to entertain it. There are people who want to deny that Pear Butter is dead, because, let's be honest here, she's one of the cutest moms in My Little Pony, so we at least gotta give her some semblance of a happy ending. Sure, it's sad that Pinkie Pie will always be regarded as Applejack's friend and not anything more, but at the very least, she knows that she can still love her daughter from afar. Now this begs the ultimate question: how the frack did Steven and Pear Butter end up in the same room? Somebody had to put them in together, and how did Pear Butter die? Someone had to leave her for dead. Whoever could it be? But hey, that's just a theory. Hopefully to get the better of Math Pat theory. Thanks for watching.